All right, folks, we're back with Taylor Bradford of the Gloucester Daily Times. Hope you had a great weekend, Taylor.
It was pretty good. It's good to see y'all.
Nice to see you.
So we want to touch upon a few stories that you're working on. One is the recent increase in the number of the spike in cases around Cape Ann.
Right. So Governor Baker has been alluding to this surge that everyone's been kind of preparing for, kind of the increase in numbers due to, people just being around each other, but then also the increase in testing. And that's what happened in Cape Ann over last week. We saw a spike go from the 65 that was reported on Monday and Tuesday of last week to the 104 confirmed cases in Gloucester at the end of the week. So quite a significant uptick in cases. And Karen Carroll, the Department of Health director, she's saying how that increase was really due to the increased testing that they did. So it wasn't necessarily that people have been, contaminating each other rapidly. It was more of we're getting the more testing, we're seeing, more cases like that, and, continue to just advise people to continue to wear masks, stay at home as much as they can, take those precautionary measures now so that when, we go into the summer, we're able to have some form of normalcy in our summer plans, kind of looking forward and hoping that we can have some of the things that we really love to do here in Cape Ann over the summer. So
very nice. And we'll be following up with Karen Carroll later this week, Heather.
We are, right. And we can ask her about the National Guard presence and follow up on that too.
Mm-hmm. Another big story, Taylor, is the latest development with Mattos Field and the consolidation of the two elementary schools.
Yeah, so Mattos Field has been a big topic here in Cape Ann for many, many months. And, despite, COVID-19 kind of putting a lot of things on pause, that is one discussion point that is being continued. And so they actually have they have a public hearing opportunity for community members who want to express different things about Mattos Field. And the Joint Committee on Municipalities and Regional Government has actually extended the deadline for people and constituents to submit their comments about the combination of these two schools, but more importantly about the land swap. So we talked about the Article 97 a few months back about them looking to swap two different lands so that they can build on the veterans site with the Mattos Field. And so this is just giving community members opportunity to express their thoughts and concerns, as a lot of people have done so in the past. And that will kind of conclude on Thursday, April 23rd at 4 p.m. It's kind of the final deadline for people to submit their comments on that bill that's looking to get passed. And so the community members can go either to, I know our website, we have the link if they want to make comments, but you can also, if you're interested in providing your information or providing your feedback on it, you can go James O'Day and Senate Chair Becca Rosh are the two people that are kind of heading the front in terms of communication. And so their email addresses are up on the government website and on our website as well. If you're looking to submit your comments and thoughts about the bill, that would include that land swap.
Gotcha. Before this all, before the virus hit, Mattos Field was the hottest topic in Gloucester for months on end.
Right. And I still think it is to an extent, because if you think about, the vote come this fall, looking to get the debt exclusion, they need the community's vote to, increase the taxes in that way. And, right now, a lot of people, I'm hearing a lot of different community members and administrations kind of saying, well, do people want their taxes increased or not? And that's a big question is, what are we prioritizing and how are we going to go forward? And a lot of people are pushing for the school to be built because they're saying, we want to get back to this learning and opportunities to build these schools. And so from both sides, I'm hearing a lot of, this is still a big discussion in the community because COVID-19 is affecting our community and then how our community responds to the things that are constantly being happening outside of the pandemic. So it's definitely a really interesting conversation point, and it's something definitely to keep your guys' ears and eyes tuned into in the coming months. So,
and more details about this can be read in your article in today's paper, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then lastly, Taylor, we didn't get a chance to talk to you about this last week, but there have been proposed backup dates for St. Peter's Fiesta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a planning and development meeting that happened earlier last week that Joseph Novello came before the Planning and Development Standing Committee to talk about getting, different permits and, the usual things that he would do in preparation for St. Peter's Fiesta. But of course, the discussion quickly went to, well, what happens if we can't, right? We talked about earlier the uptick in numbers earlier in this discussion and wanting to be able to do the things that we love to do here on Cape Ann in the summer. And he's still wanting to do that, but is realistically saying, well, we might need to push it back. We might need to adjust things. So going from that June 24th through June 28th dates that we usually see, he's saying, okay, how about we propose a date if we're not allowed to, if the government or our local government and just as us as a collective whole decide that we need to hold off on this event that brings hundreds and hundreds of people to Cape Ann, how about we look to September? So he's looking at September 12th and 13th to be alternative dates if need be, and they're going to reevaluate that and reassess and make final decisions in early May. And so, but again, he's going to say that September Fiesta will not be the full-on Fiesta because a lot of their vendors and entertainment people might not be able to be scheduled for that time. So everything seems to be up in the air, but he seemed to be pretty optimistic and at the meeting and saying, we're going to make something happen because this is important to our community. So excited to see what they had the conversation in early May. But yeah, as of right now, even things like St. Peter's Fiesta are up in the air. So
it's interesting. It always makes me think of this May 4th date looming over our heads and whether we'll see an extension of the current order. And if that will prevent, say, kids from actually physically going back into school buildings, which would take us into the third week of June, which would make you think naturally, well, now this means Fiesta might get pushed, if not canceled. And then the following week, you're talking about the 4th of July and activities going on in all 4 Cape Ann communities, from bonfires to parades, et cetera, et cetera. So fireworks, so it's going to be a pretty heady couple of weeks here.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting.
So anything else you're working on this week?
So this morning I had the great opportunity to speak with a couple of our healthcare providers, just really trying to stay connected to the community while we're all staying in our houses. So I was able to speak to a few nurses who are working at Addison Gilbert, kind of hearing what their day-to-day looks like and understanding, right, we're hearing a lot of these stories, but on the local level, what does it look like for them both in the hospital and at home? Because these are things that we can hear these narratives all we want, through social media and stuff like that. But when you actually sit down or on the phone and you talk to these incredible healthcare providers, it just blows you away just how much they are giving up in order to help everyone else in need. So looking at that and kind of looking about how there's different people within our community, a lot of times those unsung heroes, that's something that we're going to be doing at the Gloucester Times is kind of featuring different people within the community that are making a difference in our community right now. So if you know of anybody, please reach out, let us know. It's something that we're going to be trying to do every week. So looking at that, and then also I'm just, again, school committee meeting this Wednesday. So they're going to be reassessing prom and graduation. So that's a big thing, is looking at, will there be alternative dates for those? I know for me, my brother, he's a high school senior as well, and it's something that he's been looking forward to for ever since he saw his older siblings do prom and graduation. So whatever they decide, I know it's going to be hard for the students, but that will be kind of discussed on Wednesday. So that's something else I'm looking at. So
it's going to be fun to talk to you on Friday, Taylor.
Oh yeah. Oh, great to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Well, great work once again, Taylor. We'll be in touch and have a great week.
You guys too. Stay safe.
Bye.